Some gifts are remembered because of what's inside them, others because they leave a question that follows you for a lifetime. For 30 birthdays, Emma's father wrapped a beautiful gift with the same care, the same ribbon, and the same quiet smile. Every year, she untied the bow with excitement. Every year, the box was empty. When she was little, she laughed. As a teenager, she was confused. As an adult, she stopped asking. Until tonight, the night before she would become a mother herself, she placed one final unopened gift between them. She looked into her father's eyes and finally asked the question she had carried for 30 years. "Dad, why was every birthday gift you gave me empty?" Year after year, the day would come. The balloons changed, the birthday cakes changed, and the little girl standing in front of them grew older. But one thing never changed. Every birthday, her father placed the same beautifully wrapped gift into her hands, the same paper, the same ribbon, the same gentle smile. When Emma was 5, she opened it with the excitement only a child could have. She searched every corner of the little box, hoping there was one last surprise. There wasn't. The box was empty. David smiled. Emma laughed. She simply thought, maybe Daddy had forgotten. Another birthday came, then another. By the time she turned 10, she still believed this year would be different. She untied the ribbon a little more carefully, lifted the lid a little more slowly, looked inside. Nothing. Once again, her father smiled, as though everything was exactly as it should be. The years kept moving. Childhood quietly became questions. At 16, Emma already knew what she would find before she even opened the box. She no longer searched for a hidden gift. She searched her father's face. Somehow, his smile never changed. It wasn't the smile of someone hiding a secret. It was the smile of someone protecting one. Eventually, she stopped asking, not because she understood, but because she believed there might never be an answer. Every birthday became the same quiet ritual. Open the ribbon, lift the lid, find nothing, smile politely, wonder silently. But there was one birthday she never saw. The night before, when the rest of the house had fallen asleep, David sat alone beneath a small lamp, carefully folding every corner of the wrapping paper, smoothing every crease with his fingertips, tying the same red ribbon with the patience of someone wrapping the most valuable gift in the world. No one was there to thank him. No one was there to watch. Yet every year, he wrapped that empty box with exactly the same love. And somehow, the mystery was no longer the empty box. It was the father. Emma had spent years believing the empty box was simply one of her father's strange traditions, something she would never understand, something she had quietly accepted. But that night, something changed. Long after the house had fallen silent, David sat alone beneath a small lamp, wrapping another birthday gift. Not with hurry, not out of habit, but with extraordinary care. Every fold perfectly aligned, every corner gently pressed into place, every ribbon tied as though it carried something priceless. No one was there to watch him. No applause, no audience, only a father and a tradition that clearly meant far more to him than anyone had ever imagined. David lifted the finished gift, rested his hand gently upon it, as though he were silently wishing it something only he could understand. Then, he quietly left the room. The light remained, the wrapping paper remained, the empty chair remained. Only then did Emma step into the doorway. She looked at the workbench, at the ribbon, at the family photograph, at the place where her father had been sitting only moments before. She wasn't searching for the gift anymore. She was searching for her father. For the first time in her life, she understood one simple truth. Whatever those empty boxes meant, they had never been empty to him. The next morning, Emma returned to the workshop, not because she wanted answers, but because, for the first time, she wanted to understand her father. Everything was exactly where he had left it. The old workbench, the desk lamp, the quiet smell of wood and paper. It felt as though the room itself had been protecting his tradition. Then she noticed the drawer slightly open, waiting. Inside were rolls of the same wrapping paper, the same red ribbon, and empty gift boxes, waiting for birthdays that had not yet arrived. In that moment, Emma realized something she had never considered before. Her father, out of habit, he had prepared for it, year after year, with love. Later that afternoon, she opened an old family photo album, page after page, birthday after birthday. The same smile, the same gift, the same father. The box had never changed, but she had. Looking at those photographs, she realized her father had been looking at her with exactly the same hope every single year. Then, something slipped from between the pages. A small envelope, its paper softened by time. Across the front, in her father's handwriting, were the words, "For Emma, when the time is right." She could have opened it. She wanted to, but somehow it no longer felt like something to be discovered. It felt like something to be received. That evening, Emma sat across from her mother, the envelope resting quietly between them. "Did you always know?" Sarah smiled. "Your father has been waiting for this day longer than you know." She said nothing more. She didn't need to. Later that night, Emma returned to her childhood bedroom. She opened the old bedside drawer. Inside were little pieces of her childhood, a birthday card, a tiny keepsake, a faded ribbon. She placed the unopened envelope beside them and quietly sat down. For years, she had wanted answers, but now she wanted the right moment, just as her father always had. And for the first time, waiting no longer felt difficult. The next morning, David returned to his workshop, just as he had thousands of mornings before. Nothing looked different. The workbench, the tools, the familiar morning light, and yet, somehow, everything had changed. He reached for the old drawer and quietly stopped. The envelope was gone. For a moment, he simply stood there. Then, a gentle smile appeared, not because something had been taken, but because something had finally arrived. For 30 years, David had never been waiting for another birthday. He had been waiting for this morning. The morning his daughter was finally ready. David slowly closed the drawer, rested his hand on the workbench, looked toward the old family photograph, and whispered, "It's time." That evening, there was no celebration, no birthday candles, no presents waiting to be opened. Only a father and his daughter sitting together with 30 birthdays between them. David gently placed the familiar gift box on the table. For years, Emma believed it held a mystery. David smiled, not because he was about to explain a secret, but because he was remembering a lifetime. You've been wondering about this box for a very long time, and every year you thought, "I forgot to put something inside." Can I tell you what I was really waiting for? Some gifts are opened in a moment. Others take a lifetime. David didn't begin with an explanation. He began with a memory. "You know, I remember every one of your birthdays, not because of the cake, not because of the candles, and not because of this box. I remember them because every year you gave me something to place inside it. Emma, I gave you something. David, you just didn't know you were doing it. Do you remember your 5th birthday? You turned the wrapping paper over and filled it with castles, stars, and places no one else could see. That was the year you filled this box with imagination. 10 years old, birthdays had begun to mean something different. The balloons, the laughter, the presents. But on that afternoon, David noticed something far more valuable. While everyone else was celebrating, Emma noticed the only child who wasn't. She didn't wait for someone to ask. She didn't expect anyone to notice. She simply walked over and shared what she had. It was a very small moment. One almost everyone forgot, but David never did. You probably don't even remember her name, but I'll always remember the smile you gave her. That was the year you filled this box with kindness. 16. Life slowly became more complicated. Childhood dreams were giving way to real struggles. One rainy afternoon, David arrived to pick Emma up after school. As students hurried home, one girl remained behind, sitting alone, carrying a burden no one else seemed to notice. Emma couldn't change what had happened. She couldn't erase the disappointment. She couldn't solve the problem. So she chose something greater. She stayed. Sometimes compassion is not about finding the right words. Sometimes it is simply choosing not to let someone suffer alone. David watched quietly, and once again, another invisible gift found its place inside the empty box. You couldn't take away her pain, but you made sure she didn't carry it alone. That was the year you filled this box with compassion. 21. By then, birthdays weren't as simple anymore. Life had become busy. Dreams, responsibilities, and promises all competed for time. I remember one evening more clearly than all the others. I told you I'd be there, and I wasn't. I kept replaying that mistake all the way home, wondering how disappointed you would be. But when I walked through the door, you didn't ask why I was late. You didn't remind me of the promise I missed. You smiled, hugged me, and simply said, "I know you tried." That was the moment I realized grace is remembering someone's heart before remembering their mistake. That was the year you filled this box with grace. 30 years old, the answer was finally resting in Emma's hands. For most of her life, she had wondered why every birthday box was empty. Now, one sealed envelope could have ended the mystery. She could have opened it. No one would have stopped her. But Emma had changed. She no longer needed to force the answer before the moment was ready. So she held the envelope, looked toward her father, and left it sealed. David said nothing. He didn't need to. In that quiet choice, he saw the final gift enter the box. Trust, David, and then came this year. The answer was already in your hands. You could have opened it. Emma, I wanted to. David, I know. But you chose to wait. Not because the question mattered less. Because you trusted me more. That was the year you filled this box with trust. Emma, was that what you were waiting for? David, I was waiting until the answer meant more than the mystery. Some truths cannot be understood when they are first given. They must be lived. 30 birthdays had quietly led to this moment. The mystery was finally ready to become Meaning, David Emma, you've spent 30 years wondering why I kept giving you an empty box. I spent 30 years watching you fill it. No, I wasn't waiting to put something inside the box. I was waiting for you to become the gift. Some gifts are opened the moment they are received. Others spend a lifetime quietly changing the person who holds them. 30 years earlier, a little girl asked her father why every birthday box was empty. Today, another little girl asks the very same question, but this time, the answer already lives in her mother's heart. Some traditions are not passed down because they are explained. They are passed down because they are understood. Daughter, Mom, is there anything inside? Emma, there is, just not the kind of gift you can see today. One day, you'll understand the greatest gifts are rarely the ones we hold in our hands. They are the values quietly placed inside our hearts, passed from one generation to the next, one birthday at a time. And perhaps that is why the most meaningful boxes are never truly empty.